Well, good morning everybody. First of all, apologies for the camera position. Wanted everybody to see the t-shirt that Stacey sent me, and it's green to go with the green lighting, which Eric Jose it was mentioning that people should put on a green light, particularly over the weekend, to support justice for Teresa, Steve and Brendan. So I just wanted to quickly run through one or two things. I'm sure I'll have forgotten one or two things, but here goes. First of all, obviously we've got our MaM-a-thon, MaM-a-thon, a marathon session of chatting about the case, and the dude, bless him, he's working like a devil, trying to line up loads and loads of people to come on and chat with him. I've got a couple of people lined up as well. The interesting thing, of course, is that as far as the Eric Jose videos, the best person, most knowledgeable and enthusiastic person ever to appear on any of the Eric Jose videos is, of course, Eric Jose himself. And also I would just like to point out that, you know, you, the supporters out there, you are the most important in this case. So certainly for myself, when I'm going live, if anybody feels that they could join in, would like to join in the chat and actually be involved in the sort of discussion rather than just posting comments, it's very easy to do, very easy. Even I can do it. Then contact me on Facebook Messenger. The only thing you'll need is either a computer or a phone that's got the app Google Hangouts, and you'll probably, in order to get Google Hangouts, need a Gmail address anyway, an email address that ends at Gmail, at Google Mail, and then everything works wonderfully well. If you try with any other email address, it won't work so well, and you won't get very far at all without the Google Hangouts app. Okay, and then when you contact me, I can then send you the link. I can actually do it live from the laptop and add people into the chat. It's really quite straightforward. So the dude has been very successful in attracting lots of people to come and chat with him. I did aim high. I did send emails to to Jerry Buting, Steve Drizzen, Kathleen Zellner, and a few others. The only reply I've got so far was from Steve Drizzen, who said that unfortunately he was unable to make it, but that he wished us all the best, best of luck, and so thanks, Steve. Going back a few videos back, must have been the last one I did with Chad Keller. We had a very interesting comment, which I have shared with both Chad and Sharkbait, Mark Hodinett, and they both thought this was absolutely brilliant. Somebody who goes by the name of Green Bean, or is it Bean Green, asked if Chad was Mark's son, and it's a very interesting observation. Certainly doesn't have an Australian accent, or at least Chad doesn't, as far as I know. And I've met Mark's Australian children, but here's the thing. Mark was actually in America for a year as an exchange student, and it just so happened that Chad was born around about the time, or just after, Mark was there. So so I reckon there's a possible link. It would only require a quick phone call to Sheriff Herman and his guys and the lads, and asked them to come up with some spurious evidence linking them. As I say, Mark and Chad were quite tickled by the suggestion. So if I have the pair of them on, it's going to be a live chat with Chad and Dad. Now, getting on to the serious stuff. No, I don't mean sausages. I mean real serious stuff. The interesting clip featuring Ken Kratz. A clip of, presumably a clip from Convicting a Murderer, which is a documentary being put together by Sean Reck. Sean Reck is a particular favourite of Ken Kratz, and the reason being was that he did a previous film documentary called A Murder in the Park, in which somebody who was found guilty of a murder, a guy by the name of Anthony Parker, was then exonerated, and another fella called Alstory Simon put in his place. How did this all come about? By an effort by David Protas of the Chicago wrongful innocence project. Basically, university students got together and managed, by way of getting this detective to pretend that he was a policeman, to actually coerce a confession from the unwitting Alstory Simon. Typical confession. We have the evidence, we have the DNA, we have everything that proves that you did it. You've got a choice. You can either spend, the rest of your life in prison, or you can cut a deal, admit to it, and then they'll look favourably upon you. So of course Ken Kratz is very keen on this because he is trying to draw a parallel between what David Protas and his students succeeded in doing in The Murder in the Park, and he's trying to connect that with, obviously, Steve Drizzen, Laura Nyrider, Kathleen Zellner, Jerry Buting, Dean Strang's efforts in freeing Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey. The interesting thing, isn't it, the fact that he's supporting this and liking this Murder in the Park because there's a coerced confession. Well, Ken, you and your mates Tom and Mark know all about coerced confessions, don't you? In the clip, we meet, obviously, somebody called Andy. Andy, I would only say watch out. Ken Kratz has a history of, once he knows who you are, he will send you inappropriate text messages. So you have been warned. Certainly, I think if I'd been the person asking a question of Ken Kratz, I would simply look at something that Chad pointed out, and which we're all familiar with, the pleading almost by Norm Garn following the Sherry Culhane testimony that she had done something she'd never ever done before in having the DNA from the bullet being presented in the case. And Norm Garn basically is pleading with the reporters to not to give Sherry Culhane a hard time for it. That sometimes protocols are there, but sometimes you have to ignore them. What a load of nonsense. So I think my question would have been to Ken Kratz, how come a bullet that Norm Garn spent so much time pleading over it having Teresa's DNA on it, which part of Teresa's body is made of wood? I hope that we get to see a lot more of this Convicting a Murderer before it goes out. My worry is that they're putting out certain little snippets in order to try and attract the truther audience. I think they realise how big Making a Murderer is, and they want it to be appealing to truthers. If it's a genuine effort, then it will receive full support from us. If it presents everything accurately, then all fair enough. My concern is that, as I say, because of the Ken Kratz, Sean Reck friendship, if you like, I'm not sure about that, and I think maybe that little clip may well have been a lost leader. We wait and see. We wait and see. Anyway, look forward to speaking with lots of people over the weekend. As I said, all we need to do is, I think everybody that's subscribed to certainly to my channel, you're all there on Facebook Messenger. If not, send me a friend request on Facebook, and then I can send you, if you've got a Gmail address and Hangouts, then look forward to chatting with you. And as I say, that invite is open to anybody. I've got obviously Mark, Chad, one or two others that I've contacted. Jerome from Belgium, of course. Like I said, I'm going to forget one or two. You know, it doesn't matter how many notes I make up. I still forget things. Never mind. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yes, Stacey. Now I'm into my 5th week of being teetotal. Feeling very, very energetic. Just about to nip over to my daughter's place, take her dog for a walk. And I've lost nearly a stone in weight, which obviously I needed to do because it was hot in Australia, and come rally time, it's going to be hot in Manitowoc. Anyway, I've kept you long enough. Look forward to seeing you all on 2 or 3 spots over the weekend. Cheers, bye for now.